How to get the best car price for either new or used cars. We start today by talking about how you can avoid negotiating your next car deal. And yes, if you're not a skilled negotiator, you should avoid it. Sounds kind of counterintuitive, right? But that's what we're going to do for you today. Next, we move on to 6 key steps that you need to get right or you lose. At this point, we are assuming you've already done your research and narrowed your choice of vehicle down to 1 or 2 specific models and are ready to make the purchase other than doing a little groundwork first. Hi, I'm Kevin Hunter, the Homework Guy, and right across the way is the amazing Elizabeth.
Thanks, Kevin. The process we're outlining here works best if you give yourself at least a week to 10 days to go through all these steps. This is to ensure there's sufficient time for thorough price comparisons. And stick with us to the end for a free giveaway.
If at any point in this process it seems like too much work for you to do, you know you can hire the most talented car buying service team to do it all for you. Hassle-free. It's the best deal available on the market with the biggest payback, paying you back in savings on average 4.3 times. Every step we're talking about today, our man Stuart does every one of them for you. He will even contact as many as 30 dealers to get the deal right for you. For more information, see our hassle-free car buying service available on the website, thehomeworkguy.com. The payback is so good, let me ask you a quick question. If your banker told you to deposit $1,000 in your savings account on Monday, and you check back on Thursday and your balance was $4,300, how many times would you want to do that? Now that's what I'm talking about. Okay, moving on. By now you should have already done your test drives and you know the exact trim, colors, and options you want. If you're not at this stage yet with either a new or used car, don't worry. You'll still get plenty of useful information from watching this video to help you nail it down. The further ahead you have the information you need, the more time you'll have to prepare and comparison shop every portion of your car deal.
Unfortunately, most car shoppers have tunnel vision when it comes to getting a great deal.
Indeed.
They focus on getting a great price while ignoring other areas such as their financing costs, trade-in, or the cost of car insurance. One of our main objectives is to get you to see that buying a car is way more than just negotiating a price. Some of you will be surprised when I say, for many people, getting past the negotiating part is actually an easy task. And we're going to show you exactly how to make it easy for you. And by following our OTD process and doing the necessary homework, you can easily get the best price. Right now, we're going to teach you how to get the lowest possible price for any new or used vehicle of your choice.
Now, for those of you who really don't like to negotiate, here's a major secret for negotiating the lowest possible price. The secret can be summed up in just 2 words. Don't negotiate.
Yep.
Sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it?
Yep.
But it's actually very simple. Let dealers do the work for you. The golden rule you need to follow is to get OTD prices from at least 7 to 8 different dealers. You just need to do enough work. Now, I didn't say try to get 7 or 8 quotes. I said actually get them. Since half don't respond, you'll have to contact at least 15 to maybe 20 different dealers to get this info. Sound too tough to do? Well, that's exactly what our man Stuart does. If you don't get the price you need with this many attempts, look even further. As many of you are aware, we do offer hassle-free car buying service, and despite his skill, Stuart will sometimes contact as many as 30 dealers for some of these great car deals he gets. Some of you guys would never go that far. Notice how I didn't say start negotiating prices at this point. I said collect prices. That's all. Most dealers will offer you deeply discounted prices with zero negotiation as long as these 2 things are clearly communicated. Number 1, they must know you're getting prices from their competition. And number 2, you only contact them online or via phone.
Never collect pricing info in person, friends. That technique died when the pandemic hit. You should never leave discussions about pricing to a later time when you're physically at the dealership. That's way too late in the process.
Way too late.
Yeah.
The bottom line is the more dealers you collect prices from while at home, the better your chances of landing an incredible deal. It only takes a little time and effort on your part to do this.
When I've done direct price negotiations on behalf of car buyers, especially in recent years, I've often received similar prices from the first 3 to 5 dealers I contacted, and it wasn't until the 6th or 7th response I got that I would receive a bid undercutting the competition, and often by a large margin, sometimes as much as $1,500. But I did tell each new dealer I already have prices from 5 other dealers, but nobody has earned my business yet. That incentivizes them to dig a little deeper.
Bingo. We say it all the time. Use the word earn when you talk about doing business with dealers. Say, I've received pricing from 5 other dealers, but I'm looking for a dealer who wants to earn my business. That word works like magic.
The lesson here is don't be discouraged if you get similar pricing from the first few dealers you contact. Most car shoppers will usually stop after contacting only 3 or 4 dealers, and that's definitely not going to cut it here.
Not going to cut it.
Getting price quotes from at least 7 or 8 dealers is what I found to be the magic number.
And as I said earlier, in order to actually collect 7 to 8 different prices, you're going to have to contact way more than 7 to 8 dealers. It will be more like 15 to 20. Count on only half of them getting back to you, and it's most likely because they're not price competitive or don't have the car. Don't let that discourage you, because they are definitely a dealer who wouldn't have given you the deal that you're looking for. I need to add something here. If one of the dealers gives you a price quote that seems just way too good to be true, and we're talking about thousands of dollars lower than any other dealer, this could be potentially a dealer trying to scam you with a demo car. This usually happens with leftover models. If you suspect this is happening, ask the dealer for the mileage on the vehicle. If it's more than a few hundred miles, it's very likely to be a demo car. Another common situation is where the dealer is quoting you a price based on rebates you don't actually qualify for.
Yeah.
Some dealers include what is known as qualified rebates into the price, such as rebates reserved for military or college grads, and often these can't be used at the same time. The dealer knows it's shady to do this, but a lot of people see the low price and get enticed and fooled. Make sure to ask if the price includes any qualified rebates.
For any doubters out there, let's talk about why this non-negotiation technique actually works. Car dealers don't want you to realize cars are just commodities.
Right.
A brand new Toyota Camry being sold in New York is essentially the same as a new Camry sold in California. If you're in any market where 7 merchants are selling the exact same product, it would be foolish to buy from the first one you come across without knowing exactly what the others will sell it for. It's the exact same situation with vehicles. Why would you get pricing from just 1 or 2 dealers when the exact same product is being sold at dozens of other locations at varying prices?
Catching the right dealer at the right time is also key to your success.
Yes.
Car dealers will sell you a vehicle even below cost if you catch them at the right time. It may be because they're trying to meet a monthly sales quota and only need 1 or 2 more sales, or perhaps the car has been sitting on their lot for too long and it needs to go. If you happen to contact a dealer during one of these times, you're going to land a great deal without much effort, guaranteed. By casting your net far and wide, your chances of finding one of these buying opportunities increases dramatically. By the way, Stuart has access to all of this kind of information, which is one of the reasons he knows the best time to exploit a dealer's vulnerability.
As promised, here are 6 exact steps to follow. Step number 1, gather automated price bids first. Everyone is looking for a quick and easy way to get a good deal. Unfortunately, it does take work and effort to guarantee the best price, but this first step is so simple and it will take you 80% of the way towards the lowest price on a new car. There are many services that let you get free price quotes, but most are not worth your time, friends. Included in this video are our top recommendations for automated price quotes. Unfortunately, many car shoppers will stop after this first step because the rest of the steps require manual work and can take a few hours to complete. This is fine if you want a fair deal and are not willing to spend a ton of time to get it. However, if you want the guaranteed lowest price on a new car, you will need to complete all the steps we're going to outline.
Start with TrueCar. TrueCar is one of the few car price quote services we do recommend using. We have covered them before, but a lot has changed since then. TrueCar does provide good upfront prices most of the times, so much so that dealers started a backlash against the service, pressuring their state legislatures to outlaw it. They were afraid that TrueCar was going to take away all the profit out of their cars. Anything that gets dealers this upset is definitely a good sign for car shoppers. To see the TrueCar price, which is free, you'll need to select a vehicle you want and then click on the button that says See Actual Pricing. You then fill out your information to see which dealers are offering discounted prices through TrueCar.
Next up is Cars Direct, which is also another reputable free service that's been around for decades and has a large network of dealers ready to provide price quotes. We will link both of these sites in the description box below.
So those are the automated pricing steps.
Yeah.
This next step is the undoing of many of you. It's the manual, time-consuming work that you must do. So step 2, the next step is to manually locate all nearby dealerships. While the online price quotes can save you time and money, it's not guaranteed that all dealers in your local area are participating with those folks. You want to make sure you have at least 7 price offers from different dealers, right? These will include some manually collected prices, which you're going to do now. This means you'll need to locate and to contact additional dealers near you, and in a moment, we'll show you exactly how to do it. and what to say. Depending upon where you live, you may only have one or two dealers within an hour's drive, so you're going to have to increase the distance until you get to a list of at least 15 dealers that you can contact. Yes, some of these dealerships may be hundreds of miles away, but if you still want to get prices for the purpose of leverage against your local dealers, you're going to have to do this. You can find each dealer's contact info by doing a Google search starting with the brand of car plus a dealer name like this example, Toyota dealer near me. You can also visit manufacturer sites and look for links that say, find a dealer or locate dealership. They're easy to find that way.
Step number 3. Here's where the rubber hits the road. You'll need to get price bids from remaining dealers. Up until now, we've given you the low-hanging fruit. It's quite possible the best deal may end up being through an automated service like TrueCar, but if you want to be positive that you're maximizing your savings, you need to do some more work. It's true that TrueCar has thousands of participating dealers, but not every single one is currently using their service. So, you're going to have to contact the remaining ones the old-fashioned way.
You should have printed a list of all relevant dealers near your location. Now's the time to start checking the TrueCar dealers off of that list. See which ones responded and make note of their price bids. As for the rest, you're going to have to manually contact them until you have a total of at least 7 or 8 different prices. Start with the dealerships closest to you and work your way out. We recommend calling all dealerships within 200 miles of you. If the list is extremely long, then call only the dealers that have a large inventory of vehicles. All you need to do is call and ask for the internet sales manager. These salespeople typically offer the best deals. If the dealership doesn't have an internet manager, ask for the fleet manager instead. Both of them are far kinder to customers and friendlier to deal with than any salesman working the floor. The goal of each call is to get the internet manager to email you their best price on the model you want. You want to get the process going via email because there's going to be some back and forth and you don't want to be playing phone tag. The call should be quick and easy, and don't try to get pricing over the phone. You'll just end up playing a lot of phone tag. Here's how an ideal conversation will go. Hello, I'd like to speak to the internet sales manager.
Hold, please. Hello, how can I help you?
Hi, I'm interested in a 2017 Chevy Suburban LT. I'm looking to purchase this month, and I'd like to get your best price on this vehicle.
At this point, they will want to get the details of the car, options you want, colors, etc. to see if they have it in stock, and they will want your email and phone so they can get back to you. This is fine. Give them your contact info, and after you give the details on the car and the contact information, you finish by saying,
I'd like you to quote me your best out-the-door price, including taxes and all fees. My zip code is 58801, so you can calculate the taxes. Of course, use your own zip code. I'm going to be busy for the rest of the day, and I prefer that you email or text me the quote. Also, let me grab your email in case I don't hear back from you.
So the goal is to open communication with someone at the dealer, give them the vehicle you're interested in, and ask them to give you an out-the-door price via email or text. That's all there is to it. Most will abide with this without any fuss. Every so often, you'll get one that will try to ask you unrelated questions or get you to come to the dealership. Just tell them you're short on time and you just want everything done through email or text to start. Make sure you jot down the following for each dealership you contact: the dealership name, the name of the internet manager, the phone number, and email address.
Or if you talk to a fleet manager, the name of the fleet manager.
Yes. It's best if you keep track of everything on a spreadsheet or even use index cards if you remember what those are. Keep one for each dealership. Otherwise, it can get very confusing really quickly with all the different prices, vehicle options, colors, and other details to keep track of, plus all the back and forth on pricing.
When calling the majority of the dealerships, there's no need for you to be anxious or nervous. From our experience, most internet managers will not try to use high-pressure sales tactics on you. For the most part, they're professional and realize you're an informed consumer.
Pro tip right here: the best time to make these calls is near the end of the month when dealers are trying to meet their sales quotas. Don't wait till the very last minute of the day. You need to give the process a few days to finalize. The best days are Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays when dealerships are a bit less busy.
Step number 4, it's time now to follow up with dealers. For the dealership that you had to manually contact, you should start receiving responses the same day, at least from dealers who have a good follow-up process in place. But like all of us, internet sales managers are human and do make some mistakes or just get a little lazy.
Oh, sure.
Some forget to send you a price. In fact, about half the time, you may not receive a bid at all. You should follow up with the ones who didn't send you a bid. It doesn't mean they won't give you a good deal. A likely reason is that they simply forgot or maybe thought you weren't a serious buyer.
In addition to not receiving bids from some dealers, you will often receive bids with missing or incomplete information. Sometimes the Internet Manager will just send an out-the-door price without any other information.
No details.
Right. Sometimes they will only quote you a price without MSRP or other details laid out. You need to standardize their bids so you can compare them fairly. Follow up and let them know you need more clarification of details on their bid. They will usually respond accordingly. It just takes a bit of prodding sometimes.
Step number 5, don't forget to give dealers a chance to beat the lowest bid.
Yes.
If you receive at least 7 price bids, including the automated ones you got through Cars Direct or TrueCar.com, compare and determine which dealer offered the best deal. First, see who offered the lowest price in relation to the invoice. Then look at the additional fees such as doc fee that you might be required to pay for that dealer. Add it all up and figure out who offered the lowest price after taking into account all additional fees. Keep in mind that some dealerships will charge a different amount for doc fees or other fees. It depends on the state that you're shopping in. You need to take this into account when determining who offered the best price.
After determining the lowest overall price, you need to contact each Internet Manager and offer them a chance to beat it. Start with the worst bid and work your way down. Each phone call or email will have to be customized to that specific dealer to take into account the different fees that you may have encountered.
Here's a juicy tip you can offer each dealer as an incentive to lower their bid. The incentive is that you are going to promise them to give them a 100% rating on a customer satisfaction survey that you'll receive from the manufacturer after purchasing. The survey sent to each car buyer by the manufacturer is what this is. It's their way of keeping tabs on dealerships and determining which dealerships are treating their customers right. Customer satisfaction surveys are very important to dealers and can result in large bonuses for each car they sell. Well, as long as those ratings are good.
Another motivational incentive you can offer is the promise to service your car at the dealership after the sale. Car dealers make a large bulk of their profits on parts and services, so this is a big incentive. To keep things fair, only promise this if you really do intend to service your car at the dealership. Obviously, no dealer will believe you if you live 100 miles away.
Right.
It's best to call each Internet Manager starting with the highest bid and see if they will beat the lowest price. This way, if one does offer a lower bid, the next call you make will include this lower bid and so on. If you really don't like calling, an email will still be effective. It will just take a little bit longer.
Next, number 6, you'll finalize the deal in writing and make arrangements to pick up your car. By now, you should have your lowest price, so call and email the dealership and get everything in writing before you actually go to the dealer. Never get sucked into going there before it's all in writing. Do not go to the dealership without having it printed out and holding it in your hand.
That's right, Kevin. Sometimes you'll get a dealer who places a low bid just to trick you to come into their dealership. When you get there, they'll come up with some story about how the car you wanted is no longer available. They'll try to sell you another car at a higher profit, banking on the fact that since you're already at the dealership, and it would be too much hassle for you to walk out and go home.
They love it having you on their turf. What you're going to request from the lowest bidder is a signed purchase order detailing everything. This should include the VIN or vehicle identification number, the MSRP, invoice price, all additional fees including tax, title, registration, and doc fee, plus the final OTD price. Go to the dealership with a printout of the deal, sign the paperwork, pay, and go on your way home with a new car knowing that you got a great deal. If the dealer is less than 50 miles away, you can even request the dealer to deliver the vehicle to you. This makes the process even more convenient, and better yet, you don't have to deal with that finance manager.
If for some reason the dealer comes up with an excuse why they can't sell you the car, even with written proof, explain that you're not there to play games. If they are not willing to give you the deal that they promised, be willing to walk away and let them know. You will be posting negative reviews about your experience online, and you'll be filing a complaint with the State Attorney General's office. If this doesn't jolt them into completing the deal, still simply walk away and choose the next lowest bidder on your list.
Questions you do not answer at a car dealership. Welcome back, Homework Guy fans. Today we're talking about some of the sneakiest questions a car dealer will throw at you when you walk into that showroom. They are designed to throw you off, but trust me, answering these questions wrong or answering them at all can cost you thousands on your next car deal. I'll give you some possible responses as we go along, but honestly, it might just be best to keep your mouth shut. Hi, I'm Kevin Hunter, the Homework Guy, and I'm here to make sure that you don't get ripped off when buying your next car. What seems like harmless information gathering questions sets the groundwork for taking serious advantage of you. So buckle up, and with the help of the amazing Elizabeth, let's dive into the 7 questions you should never answer when buying a car. Liz?
Well, let's start with the question that seems the least threatening, but it can still majorly throw you off. Question number 1. What's your color preference?
Hot button right there.
If you want a specific color vehicle, let's say a white one, a salesman will push you hard towards the white one, even if it's the wrong trim level or priced well outside your budget. If you give the salesman what's known as a hot button early in the process, they are guaranteed to keep pushing it time and time again.
Over and over again. Better than answering the color question, we recommend that you deflect by saying, let's see what you have and we'll go from there. Now let's say a white car was exactly what you wanted and they happen to have a white vehicle. You say, I'm not super thrilled with white, but I could live with it. There's a reason you don't want to disclose your hot button issue. It has been a long-held belief that if the dealer has a car you really want, you think you absolutely must have, they don't have to discount it to sell it to you. You start salivating and you'll pay almost any price to get exactly what you want. You'd have to agree that's reasonably true.
Question number 2. Are you ready to buy today? This question is pure pressure tactics, friends, and the worst dealers like to ask this. What they're really saying is, how desperate are you? Because if you say yes, they know they can rush you into a decision, get you to sign on the dotted line, and send you on your way before you've had a chance to do all your homework.
If you've ever been asked this question, you say, I'm exploring my options, or I'm taking my time to make sure I get the right deal. You can also add, I'm looking for a dealer who wants to earn my business.
That's a good one.
Dealers hate answers like this because they know they've got to work for your business. They've got to convince you that they're giving you the best possible deal. Don't ever let anyone rush you into a decision. If they push, just say, I'm willing to walk away today if we can't make this work. Trust me, once they know you're ready to walk, you'll see how fast a better deal starts getting put together.
Question number 3. Have you shopped around or gotten other quotes? By asking this, dealers are trying to understand how much you know about the current market. If you haven't done your research, they see an opportunity to keep their prices high. If you have, they might try to discredit other dealers or pressure you into making a hasty decision by questioning the legitimacy of those other quotes that you have.
They also jump on a yes answer to this by saying, and now you're here, so obviously those other deals weren't so good. At a deal like this, when you're out to take a test drive, you can expect to get asked trial closing questions like, can you see yourself driving this car home today?
Yep.
It's a trial closing question that salesmen are trained to ask you. This involves getting you to visualize yourself owning the car you're driving and getting some emotional attachment started.
Question number 4. What's your monthly payment goal? Now, let me tell you, this is the mother of all evil car dealer questions, and it's designed to trick you right from the start. They're not asking because they care about your financial well-being.
Not at all.
That's right. It's about squeezing the biggest possible profit number out of you, friends.
So what happens if you answer this question? You say, well, I can afford $500 a month, and boom, you've just given them all the power they need. Suddenly, they've got several ways to manipulate the deal to hit at or above that $500 monthly payment goal, and often that's exactly what they do is hit high on it. Extend the loan term, raise the interest rate, throw in hidden fees, whatever it takes. You might think you're getting a great deal, but that $500 a month payment goal could end up costing you $8,000 or more over the life of the loan.
Here's a quick example of what Kevin said. Let's say you're looking at a $30,000 car. Over 60 months, you're looking at a higher monthly payment, but what if they extend that term to 84 months to hit your target payment goal? Boom, that's over 7 years of payments with tons of additional interest. Suddenly, you've overpaid, and that affordable car isn't so affordable anymore.
No, it's definitely not.
Yep.
Our advice, don't ever talk about monthly payments. Always talk about the total price of the car first. If you do indeed have a monthly payment goal, run that goal through a car payment calculator online with the loan term and the interest rate you're expecting, and always boil that down to an OTD out the door price. Whether you do this from the comfort of home, as you should, or you do it while you're at the dealership like some of you like to do, always work off a pre-calculated OTD price. If you get asked the question, what's your monthly payment goal? Answer by saying, I'm more interested in a total OTD price.
Question number 5. Do you have a trade-in? This question comes earlier and earlier in car negotiations these days. Here's where the trade conversation often goes. Do you still owe money on your trade-in? And what's your current monthly payment? You revealing your monthly payment here tells them what they should shoot for or even exceed with your new car. It was the car shortage during the pandemic that pushed this extra interest into trades, but still today, the technique of asking about it early still lingers. Now you might be thinking, well, it's good to get it all out in the open right away, right?
Wrong.
Yeah, discussing the trade-in too soon is like giving them free money, friends.
It's very easy to understand why dealers use the trade-in question. When you let them know about your trade-in right away, they're going to immediately bundle it into the overall deal, overwhelm you with the information, and suddenly you're juggling two numbers, the price of the new car and the value of your trade-in. And guess what? You get lost in the shuffle and kind of forget to keep your eye on the price of the car you're buying because they are busy lowballing you on your trade. It's a simple strategy. Their long-held experience shows that it's easy to hide the real numbers when you mix them together. You get information overload, you get tired and worn out, and then you say yes to a very stupid deal.
Serious homework guy tip here. Negotiate one thing at a time. Lock in the price of the new car first, get it in writing on paper in front of you, and then ask them, by the way, what's your offer on my trade? Take the paper for the car you're buying off the table, put it in your pocket, and make them write their trade offer on a fresh sheet of paper.
That really screws them up.
Yeah.
Now you've got control. The information is out in the open, and you can clearly see if you're getting a fair deal on both ends. If they start lowballing you, you can always take your trade-in elsewhere to get a better value.
Yes.
And before you get this far in the process anyway, where you're asking them what they'll offer you for your trade, have a trade-in offer from a place like CarMax or Carvana and know what someone else would give you. Have that in writing with you.
Question number 6. How are you planning to pay? This one's really sneaky. The dealer will ask, how do you plan to pay for this car? Cash, finance, or lease? And this question is loaded, my friends, because the second you tell them how you're paying, they start recalculating how they can make the most money on this deal.
If you say cash right here, they might try to steer you away from it because they make a lot more money off a financed deal. If you say finance, they'll start working you over with interest rates and add-ons. And if you say lease, well, let's just say leasing is another can of worms we'll tackle on another day.
Yeah.
What should you say here? Simple. I'm keeping my options open. If we can agree on a price I'm willing to pay, I'll be interested in what your finance office has to offer at the time. Even if you're paying cash, if they had 0% financing, wouldn't you be interested? Sure you would.
Right.
Don't let them pressure you, push you around. Negotiate the car price first. Then once you're satisfied with that number, you can start discussing payment options, and that's when you'll have the upper hand.
Question number 7. What kind of down payment are you thinking? Number 6 was all about how you plan to pay. This question is about how much down payment. How much are you planning to put down? Seems innocent, but it lets the finance office know how much additional junk they can pack into your car loan.
No doubt. It sounds like a totally normal question, right? But think about it. They're digging for details to see how much they can get from you on the back end. And the back end I'm talking about is in the finance office.
You know, Kevin, it's like, how much junk can they fit in your trunk?
Exactly.
Now, a down payment can be a great way to lower your monthly payment and reduce your interest, but this is a big but here. If you tell them how much you have saved up, you're giving away leverage. They might push you toward putting more down than necessary or using that number to make the financing look more attractive, even if it doesn't actually save you money in the long run.
Why the price really ain't the price at a car dealership.
What?
And why the heck can't you, the consumer, just buy a dang car for the advertised price? And why not at even a slightly less cost than the advertised price? If there's one thing that really frustrates every car buyer, it's all the mysterious games dealers play with car prices. Dealers frequently publish one price only to charge a very inflated end price when the actual negotiations get underway. Yes, this is illegal, but they do it anyway. If you're like every other car buyer out there, this kind of BS really pisses you off. We put this show together for you after we talked to our car coaches working in our hassle-free car buying service. We got their feedback on all the nonsense dealers try to pull with them with pricing. And I guarantee you if dealers attempt this stuff with our very experienced car coaches, dealers are 100% going to try these stunts with a lesser skilled buyer like you. Today, we are going over a dozen actual examples taken from our car coaches while negotiating for our viewers. Hi, I'm Kevin Hunter, the Homework Guy, and here to help me present these confusing and frustrating real-life dealer pricing games is the amazing Elizabeth.
Thanks, Kevin. Today we're going to cover the top 12 most common pricing games that dealers can play. This is all stuff that has happened directly to our car coaches as they are hunting down the right deal for our viewers. Let's start with a very stupid tactic. At number 1, a partial down payment is not included in the posted price.
Unreal.
Check out this posted price for a 2021 Infiniti Q50. Just 34,000 miles, and yet it's advertised at an attractive $24,411. That's the advertised price. But what's the real price? The fine print reads, does not include $1,695 for a low jack system, any additional pre-equipped products, and or costs incurred to the total vehicle. Please note that the internet special pricing reflects a partial down payment of $3,199 or the trade equivalent.
Internet special pricing, huh?
Yeah.
The actual price is $29,305, almost $4,900 higher.
Ironically, I noticed the dealer posting this is called 5-Star Auto Sales. Not much of a 5-star dealer, if you ask me, so even their name is designed to mislead you.
Number 2 is the dealership finance price. This stunt happens when the advertised price is contingent on you financing with the dealership's bankers. If you plan to buy with cash or use your own bank or credit union, then the price is suddenly $1,000 to $2,000 higher. The cash price is not disclosed until you are moving into the finance office or are in the middle of writing up the purchase agreement.
Number 3, payment-focused pricing tactic. Instead of talking to you about the car's actual price, this dealer tactic steers you toward the monthly payment. The dealer wants to avoid an actual price discussion because they know that by extending the loan term, even though it increases the interest rate, they can make a higher price seem more affordable. This tactic always results in a much higher overall cost.
Very common trick. And at number 4, at distributor or at port installed add-ons.
Yep.
This is super popular for 5 brands. I'll mention who shortly. The price does not include distributor or at port installed add-ons. If you followed us for some time now and you're up to speed on illegal tying the sale, this is a tactic some manufacturers use to get the dealer off the hook for pulling something illegal. Dealers often tell you that they don't like pushing these add-ons and say they are forced or have no choice to accept them since they are already installed before the car arrived at the dealership, and they say they can't take them off. However, the add-ons that are usually worth as little as $200 to $500 are commonly marked up to $1,000 or even $2,500.
Right.
Again, these add-ons are not included in the advertised prices and usually found only in the small print that pre-installed accessories do not reflect or are not included in the advertised price. This is very commonly done by Toyota. It's also happening with Honda, Hyundai, Kia, and Mazda. Typical port-installed options include GPS security location, which also requires a monthly subscription, low jack security, ceramic paint coating, which is garbage, ceramic windshield coating, leather cloth protection, another totally junk product, film paint protection, hood, bumper, and door guards, security wheel lugs, nitrogen air, cosmetic wheel repair, overpriced mats, and SUV trunk trays, to name a few. Add-ons have always been common, but generally only on new cars. However, post-pandemic, add-ons have become very normal on used cars too.
You got it. Number 5, we refer to this next one as the kitchen sink. Usually for high-demand vehicles like the new 24 Land Cruiser, there are add-ons on top of add-ons.
Even the add-ons have add-ons.
Yes. For example, the Toyota Land Cruiser has 3 tiers. The 1958 edition at $55,950, Land Cruiser $61,950, and First Edition $74,950. A customer looking for the Land Cruiser with Land Cruiser trim plus convenience package can see $61,950 plus a $4,600 convenience package that's leather, power seats, moonroof, upgraded audio, plus $350 Heritage Blue. The $61,950 jumps to $68,350 total. The majority of Land Cruisers have the upgraded 20-inch alloy wheels installed at the Port or Distribution Center for $1,240 or Nitto Grappler 18-inch wheel tire combo for $1,549. Nitrogen fill for $95 a tire, cosmetic wheel repair $245, clear paint protection $818, and that's separate from the $245 package. Man, it just keeps going. The dealer out-the-door offer is $75,300 plus a 2-week wait, can even be up to a 3 to 6 month wait. Wow.
Wowzer. Number 6, extended warranties and gap insurance. Dealer finance offices often just assume you're going to add extended warranties, gap insurance, or other protection plans to the contract, and they do this without your explicit consent or full understanding, significantly raising the final cost. You'll have to say no a lot, and you'll hear dozens of made-up stories to try to scare you into buying these products. The truth is, that they don't know anybody who has ever been saved by their products. All of those stories are BS. When all of these products are combined, the average car can increase in cost by $2,000 to as much as $6,000 or even more, depending on the number and type of additional products they get you to agree to. Some buyers report to us that they saw their cost increases exceeding $7,000 or more when more expensive or numerous add-ons got tacked on. Our viewers get this. For example, Jim Wright says, if you have to pay $6,000 for add-on coverage products that cost the dealer $500 to $1,000, then it's safe to say the dealer wants $5,000 to $5,500 more, and you'll pay $5,000 to $5,500 more for the car than the advertised price, taking a $30,000 price to $35,000 plus. A, do you walk? Or B, do you realize the dealer at $32,500 advertised with no add-ons is not overpriced and is the lowest you can spend to buy?
Right.
Great point, Jim. But this is a difficult question to answer because it is not known until later that the other dealer doesn't have forced add-ons.
Yep.
Sorry, this nonsense is so confusing, but thanks for the question, Jim.
Number 7, lease monthly payment grid. We don't often talk about leases, but our car coaches negotiate a lot of them for us. This lease monthly payment grid tactic happens when the dealership provides the customer monthly payments for 10,000, 12,000, 15,000 miles per year in a lease term of 24 or 36 months. Most people don't negotiate a price, but instead will just pay the monthly payments on the grid without even thinking of any negotiation of the price, thinking everything is just a monthly payment on a lease. The dealership then focuses on the down payment to help lower the monthly payments. However, it's typically not advisable to put any down payment on a lease. In any event that the car is in an accident and an insurance loss, the entire down payment goes poof like a puff of smoke. If you have a smart customer who tries to negotiate the price first, then move into the monthly terms, that's good. However, the dealer will go around them by using the money factor and the residual value of the vehicle at the end of the lease that will screw over the customer. There's also the multiple security deposit that can go up to $10,000 on top of the down payment. Speaking of add-ons, even lessees get hammered by add-ons. Our viewer Beach writes, I got charged for VIN etching, the car alarm, and fabric paint protection. The finance person at Keys Honda said these add-ons were on all the vehicles and couldn't be removed. So $3,600 was added onto my 2-year lease. I should have read the paperwork better or just walked out of the dealership. Why are they allowed to do this on a lease? I'm not buying the car. I am leasing it. These fees should be less or non-existent for a lease, right?
Number 8, this tactic is known as ghost lowball listings. These are vehicles listed that aren't even available, sold, or never was for sale.
Sure.
They are designed to generate leads for bait and switch and collecting customer information for marketing and remarketing. Listings look legitimate, but the price is often too good to be true or smartly priced very competitively, generally in the KBB great or good price range. This practice is part of the reason for many of the other issues discussed.
Yep.
Dealers have to compete for clicks online, hence they follow this lowball ghost listing tactic. Then many dealers join in since someone else isn't playing fair, and they got to do it too, and it just becomes a vicious cycle. Even for dealers that put up completely legitimate postings, they sprinkle in some of these ghost listings to catch more traffic. Some of the ghost listings are also due to dealers posting vehicles that are already sold and not taking them down. They already paid for 30 days of advertising and they sold the original vehicle on the 8th day of the month. They just leave the original posting up to get calls coming in.
Wow. Number 9, the CPO certification fee. There are dealerships that highlight a vehicle as a CPO or gold certified or platinum certified, etc. It's all the same thing, just a used car with an extended warranty package.
That's it.
They claim the CPO gives extras such as extended warranty, emergency roadside assistance, free car washes, basic maintenance, loaner cars, etc. There are dealerships like Acura and Kia where the advertised price doesn't include the CPO certification. Sometimes they call it reconditioning for certification. This is generally not disclosed on the advertisement and only comes up when the purchase agreement is being put together. These fees can range from $1,000 to $2,800. It's an unpleasant surprise to get at the end.
Very unpleasant.
Yep.
Number 10 is the sunshine fee. In Florida, dealer documentation fees are very unfair to consumers. It's common to find a dealer doc fee which isn't part of tax title license fees. They range from $800 to $1,800. A BMW dealer in Florida can easily charge $1,200 in dealer doc fees, whereas a BMW dealer in Manhattan, New York, has a doc fee at $275 since there's a cap regulated by the state.
Number 11, reconditioning fee. This fee is pure nonsense. The big reason there's a huge difference between dealer clean retail price and the sale of private party sellers is that the dealer has to recondition the vehicle and a private party seller does not have to. On the East Coast, we have found dealerships that try adding $700 to $2,500 for reconditioning fees. This is ridiculous but common. For example, on a 2019 Honda Odyssey, the out-the-door included a $1,600 reconditioning fee. This included brake work, wheel alignment, oil change, PDR dent removal, installation of new used tires, detailing, and a couple of additional items to make the vehicle ready for sale.
Number 12, the trade-in lowballing. Dealers may offer an attractive advertised price that is real, but usually resort to undervaluing a customer's trade-in vehicle to make up the difference.
Ooh.
If you don't have a trade, the price automatically goes up. This is just a tactic to get back some of the money they are giving up on the lower price car. And you are likely to say, well, I'm getting a good deal on their car, so I may as well let mine go for this lower number.
Ouch. There you have it, friends. Seriously, there are so many price games that dealers can play. There's no way we could cover all of them today, but we'll give a stab at covering more in a future show. The bottom line is, you're almost guaranteed to run into at least one of these or even more attempts to jack up the price that you thought you were going to pay. As our viewer Samuel Goodwin points out here, he writes, Kia of National City in San Diego, California, literally did everything you stated. My favorite part is that they stated that they could not itemize the contract due to the contract drafting system.
Contract drafting system? What are they going to think of next?
Yeah. Here's another recent comment made by a viewer going by Doc Holliday.
Like the name.
He writes, 9 a.m., walk into Nissan of Mission Hills, California for the Memorial Weekend sale. I wanted the cheapest car on the lot, base Nissan Versa, with a price tag of $16,999 from the factory. But the dealership had their asking price right next to it for $22,999. Plus,
Notice he calls it a stealership.
I saw stealership. Plus those infamous add-ons and ghost fees that total over $40,999. For their cheapest car, across from these rats is Hammer Toyota doing the same thing, competing with each other to be the biggest rats of all.
Rats indeed. I'd like to take this opportunity to point out that by now, many of you know our car coaching staff is expanding to help even more viewers with our hassle-free car buying service. One of the benefits of using our car coach is that you can skip all of these tactics we discussed today. We continue to come out on top in negotiations with dealers on behalf of our viewers, beating these fake pricing tactics out of the car deal. Our hassle-free car buying service is one of the best things we've done for our viewers by a long shot, and it guarantees you'll get around all of these price games car dealers play. Some dealers you should leave or avoid altogether. Bad dealers unwittingly provide you with plenty of clues that tell you right away you need to get out of there. Or if you're still at home negotiating with them on your home turf where you should be, then you should just avoid them. Hi, I'm Kevin Hunter, the Homework Guy. Today we're talking about warning signs and red flags you hear about so often that when you see or hear them, you should immediately decide you're not doing business with the dealership you're talking to. In the end, we'll tell you about how you can skip all this nonsense and enjoy car buying again. Sound good? Joining me in studio to discuss this important topic is the always amazing Elizabeth. Liz, let's break down the signs that if you see them, you should run, not walk away from a bad car deal and a crooked car dealer.
Thanks, Kevin. Friends, as I coach car buyers who purchase our text consult package or our email help desk service, I often hear from people that a dealer in their area is refusing to do one thing or another. They ask, is this against the law? The answer is often yes. Today we're hitting on a number of red flags that you need to be aware of, and yes, many are actually illegal. So here it is. Red flag number 1. The dealer won't give you an OTD price. That's the out-the-door price. This is not illegal, but it's very stupid. In today's post-pandemic era of the car market, literally every dealer should be more than happy to comply with your request for an out-the-door price, otherwise known as OTD.
They should be more than happy to give that.
Any dealer who fails to respond or says they can't send you the information you're requesting, regardless of what the excuse is that they offer, they should be avoided. If you're a DIY, do-it-yourself type car buyer and you want some free help, find our OTD email templates on our website. They're found in our pull-down menu for your convenience. By the way, no dealer our coaches negotiate with in our hassle-free car buying service will ever get away with refusing to negotiate using OTD pricing. We drop the idiots who refuse this like a hot potato because that's a deal killer for us.
Yes, leave immediately. If you want to avoid the kind of nonsense we're talking about from dealers who pull stunts like we'll mention here today, look up our hassle-free car buying service on our website, thehomeworkguy.com.
By the way, I'm so thankful for our hassle-free car buying service, and not just because it helps our viewers get great car deals, but our service gives us current involvement in car deals with dealers all around the country, and it provides us with first-hand proof that the methods we teach our viewers really do work. The bottom line is that when we see that it most definitely works for us, we know for certain that our techniques will work for you. You just have to be persistent like we are.
That's right. Moving on, red flag number 2, they say, just come on in.
Yeah.
Instead of the dealer sending you the OTD information in writing that you requested, they tell you, just come on in. We'll work out a deal, especially if you're in the early phases of car shopping and you're on the hunt for OTD prices. You should never, ever abandon the comfort of your home turf and waltz into a car dealership just because some dealer tries to derail your process by saying, just come on in.
Yep.
Stay on your comfy sofa with your laptop and refuse to get sucked into the come on in con game.
For sure. Red flag number 3. The price of the car sounds very low. We've talked about this before. If a deal sounds too good to be true, it usually is. If you've been shopping around for the vehicle you want and suddenly you come across one that's priced much lower than anything else you've found, there's always going to be a reason, and that reason could really cost you. Don't take this as a sign that you should stop looking and run to that dealership before the extra low-price car deal disappears. Bad dealers out there are playing games with pricing because they know people like you are searching for the lowest price of a car, so they will post a low price on the internet. Unfortunately, it's quite often a fake price. We'll go into a lot of detail on this in an upcoming show. The fake price is just as fake as a lot of the fake dealer fees we tell you about.
If you're feeling tempted to check out the low-price car you just found, your next step should be to find out why the price is so low in the first place.
Yeah.
It could be aged inventory, and you should know that new or used dealerships use their own criteria on what they consider to be an aged unit, so there's nothing standard there.
Yeah.
For any number of reasons, they feel they just need to get rid of it.
So the question is, has the car been damaged, or is it simply aged inventory that they want to dump? You can find out by getting a Carfax report. The Carfax will say when the vehicle came into inventory at the dealer, and I'm assuming you can do just a little basic math to figure it out.
Red flag number 4, no pricing on the website or no pricing on their cars. We've seen this plenty of times. If it says call for pricing or you have to put in contact information like your name, your cell phone number, and your email address, if you have to do all this just to see the pricing on the dealer's website, you should be backing away very quickly from this dealer. Don't ever do business with dealerships like that. Dealers who lack transparency in pricing are capable of all kinds of dirty tricks. If you talk to them, don't be surprised if they say something like this. Listen, we have this private sale going on and we're limiting the number of people we're talking.
Ah!
No dealer ever wants to limit the number of customers they have. This stunt is one of the oldest tricks in the dealer handbook on how to deceive customers. And they do it just to get your name and contact information.
Ew.
Plan on being heckled to death if you comply and give up your contact information.
Don't do it. Red flag number 5. We need a credit app before you can take a test drive. This is a big one. There are plenty of dealers who say, we need a credit application from you before you can test drive a car. They might even add, that way we can get you numbers and payment information while you're out driving. Don't let the convenience pitch get you sucked in.
Don't be a sucker for that. Just say, okay, we'll see you later, and then get out of there.
Leave, because this is an indication of a very underhanded process, friends, and you should know that they've prejudged you. Sadly, this happens all the time as car dealerships size up their customers and have preconceived ideas about your creditworthiness. No matter what your credit is, once they get their hooks into you by assuming the sale before you even return from your test drive, they are impossible to deal with. This is just the beginning of a very lengthy and slow process to take the most advantage of you during their car deal. Yes, I said their car deal, because if you let them do this to you, they will treat you like it's their deal and not yours.
Red flag number 6, the dealer has a market adjustment or additional dealer markup, also known as an ADM fee on their cars. This was a very common practice during the pandemic when cars were in low supply, but that greedy stunt is most definitely dead. Dealers could get away with it during a car shortage, and many of them did, but if you're seeing this out there at a dealership in your community right now, please comment below and let us know who the little scoundrels are.
Red flag number 7, the dealership has lots of bad online reviews. Now, before you even waste your time attempting to open communication with a dealer, you should go check out their Google reviews.
Absolutely.
Reviews are not the be-all, end-all of dealer evaluation, and yes, they could be faked, but if you see a pattern of complaints, especially with issues like bait-and-switch tactics, deceptive advertising, or poor customer service, that's a huge warning sign.
Believe those guys.
Don't bother with dealers like that. True, no dealership is perfect, but if you're seeing a lot of negative feedback, it's probably best to steer clear.
Red flag number 8, addendums, otherwise known as the second price tag.
Right.
There are far too many dealers who are deploying a second price tag in the effort to force you into buying totally junk products. They will say, it's already installed and we can't take it off. Let me tell you this, if a dealer puts something on the vehicle that you want, and you definitely don't want what they put on it, not only should you be removing the charges, but you should be demanding a discount for them damaging the car with their junk products.
Yep.
This is 100% an example of tying the sale, which is clearly laid out as being illegal by the FTC. We hear about this kind of stuff happening all the time. For example, here's our viewer, Rob M., who writes, so I just got back from a Chevy dealership here in the west suburbs of Chicago. Sunrise Chevy in Glendale Heights, Illinois, has on every new car the second price tag. The good news is that you don't have to pay $500 for green valve stem covers. The bad news is you're paying $2,400 for rust proofing, $200 for door edge guards, and $300 for some add-on rear-end collision system. This dealer should change their name to Surprise Chevy. They are trying to force the sale of a rear-end collision system on you, and yet they're rear-ending you for almost $3,000 in extra charges. How
Ouch.
hilarious.
Oh boy, now for some red flags that show up a little later in the process. Red flag number 9, payment packing. I touched on this briefly earlier, but it deserves its own mention. This is a red flag that unfortunately shows up in the finance office late in the car buying process. When this happens, you're already in finance hoping to sign out on your car soon, and suddenly your loan just keeps getting fatter and fatter and the payments are getting bigger and bigger.
You're hearing this common bullshit statement. You'll need to protect your investment. If you're suddenly being pressured to buy extended warranties, gap insurance, or other additional services that you don't want or need, that's a clear red flag. You should be getting up and walking out of there.
You got it. Red flag number 10, inconsistent or confusing paperwork. If the paperwork is inconsistent or incomplete, or if the dealership keeps asking you to sign blank documents, just stop right there. This could happen in the finance office or even on the sales floor. This is one of the biggest red flags you can encounter. All the details should be clearly outlined, as you should have the opportunity and the time to review everything before signing anything. If something feels off or if they're rushing you through the paperwork, trust your gut and walk away.
Red flag number 11, tons of fake fees. If you haven't seen our video on 11 fake fees, make sure you see it before you visit a car dealer. That video was published back in 2019, but it's still relevant today. In fact, there's a lot of additional fees that they're charging now. Sadly, not only are dealers still charging all the fees that video mentions, but like I said, they've made up names for tons more.
Yep. Red flag number 12, pressure to do the deal right now. Dealers love to sit there and tell you, hey, listen, if you do this deal right now, do it by the end of the day or do it in the next 10 minutes, however desperate they are. They finish by saying, we'll do this price for you right here. But then they add, if you walk out of the dealership, the price is no longer valid. Outside of manufacturer rebates, which sometimes expire at the end of the month, there is no reason a dealership should ever put a time contingency on the price of the car. None.
The interesting truth is that if you do leave, they are likely to call you and offer an even lower price. The irony and contradictions found in car dealerships are just mind-boggling.
Red flag number 13. The dealer is unwilling to give you the vehicle history report. If a dealership is unwilling to give you the history report on a used car that you're purchasing, it's definitely time to get up and walk out. The reason why is they're probably playing games with you on their cars. Sadly, most of the time when this happens, it's that the car dealership doesn't sell the nicest of cars.
Red flag number 14, refusal to allow a PPI. That's a pre-purchase inspection, if you didn't know. This one is big. When you buy a used car, it is always a good idea to get a third-party inspection done on the car. There's places like Palm Car and Lemon Squad. They're just two of the providers out there who do pre-purchase inspections. And no, we don't get any kickback for telling you that.
Right.
Whether it's these guys or your own shop, the bottom line is you need a PPI done on a used car. And if a dealership doesn't allow you to do that, here's your sign. It's another huge red flag. Their refusal could be for a couple of different reasons.
And an even bigger problem is that they know there's something wrong with it and they don't want you to find out before you purchase it.
That's right.
Dealers like this are often selling vehicles as is, and you'll have no recourse later if you buy their car.
If you sign an as-is buyer's guide, it clearly states that it is a federal government form regulated by the government. The bottom line is that if you buy a vehicle like this and it breaks in half when you drive off the lot, you're the sad owner of both pieces. Don't ever let this happen to you.
And red flag number 15, cooking the interest rate or a rate hostage situation. This is a sneaky trick pulled in dealer finance. A lot of people fall for it. The finance manager will typically have you sign all your paperwork for your car purchase. And they also go over the extended warranties, and they go over the gap insurance and all the other products that they are salivating to sell you. These salesmen in finance have just one job to do for the dealership, and that's to significantly increase dealer profitability. There's finance managers all over the internet bragging how they are making $3,000 or $4,000 or even more per customer in that back office.
There's a guy by the name of Shaka Dyson here on YouTube, and he trains these finance guys to be total sharks. Finance offices are known for many slimy things, and we've already mentioned a few of them, like making you sign your name on paperwork or on a tablet where you can't see everything spelled out.
Right.
Tell them you're not a tree hugger and you want to see it all on paper and insist that they print it all out.
Well, there you have it, friends. Seriously, though, there are many more red flags out there. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. But honestly, if you see one or two of these, it's time to leave because there's going to be more.
Shifting gears, I'd like to say that by now, many of you know we've added another coach to help our viewers with hassle-free car buying service. We continue to come out on top in negotiation with dealers on behalf of our viewers. Our hassle-free car buying service is the best thing we've done by a long shot in the last 15 years. It also happens to be the best thing anyone has ever done for car buyers. That includes places like Car Edge and Costco Auto Program. They are basically two peas in a pod. Our service offers nearly triple the savings as compared with competing services out there. Our service is also a heck of a lot faster. If people want to go slower, well, that's fine too, but we have put people into a car just 48 hours after they contacted us for help. We can go that fast if needed. If you're hearing about this car buying service for the first time, go to our website, thehomeworkguy.com, and read our detailed posting on what it costs and how it all works.
The bottom line is, if you're feeling intimidated by all the nonsense dealers pull, or you just don't have the time or energy to fight with those car dealers out there on your own, just let us know. We're here to step in and help you. And as I mentioned, we are expanding our services with more staff and more help for car buyers.
By the way, you should also know that our service is the only car buying service that also saves you the hassle of negotiating with a finance officer. We have that knowledge firsthand from our newest hire, who happened to work directly for our competitors recently. He came over to join the good guys team, and you might guess where he came from. When we met, he said it was the first time he actually had a chance to meet the people he'd be working for. He also thought it was incredible that only with the Homework Guy team do you, the viewers, get to talk directly with the show host. I personally take every intake call. We don't have layers of bureaucracy between us and our viewers, and we like it that way. You get to talk directly with us, and you always will.
Most importantly, it doesn't matter if you go with somebody like Costco or Car Edge, you get essentially the same kind of mediocre outcome. It's the same poor service from somebody who really doesn't know what they're doing. You'll never get the best available deal, and to add insult to injury, you're still stuck with negotiating with dealer finance officers. And that, my friends, is the worst stop you'll ever make in the dealership. You already know that. We don't ever leave you to the mercy of people like that. We pre-negotiate and coach you through every single step.
Thanks to all of you out there in our audience for coming back. We greatly appreciate your loyalty. And if you want our direct help in your car deal, text Liz today at 701-441-3399. To all of our longtime subscribers, you guys rock. God bless you all. I'm Kevin Hunter, the Homework Guy, home of the only totally hassle-free car buying service, signing off on behalf of the amazing Elizabeth and the entire Homework Guy team. Thanks for listening.